So you want to brave the elements, risking the bears, wolves, freezing temps, and risky scenarios, huh? Kidding. It's great fun and often safe. Anyway, if you're one of the brave souls gearing up for an adventure in nature, today's video is for you. We're diving into the 10 blunders that every newbie camper seems to make, turning their outdoor dream into a camping nightmare, or a comedy that even the best writers couldn't script. From missing supplies to camping faux pas that make you the laughingstock of the campfire, we've got the deets. So grab your marshmallows and your camping gear because we're about to hit the trail of mistakes and learn how to avoid tripping over ourselves. Figuratively, of course. 1. Ignoring the weather forecast. First up, ignoring the weather forecast. Seriously, this is like deciding to jump into a shark tank because what's the worst that could happen? The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, reports that about 70% of outdoor accidents can be attributed to poor weather preparedness. If the forecast says 80% chance of rain, pack your poncho unless you fancy becoming a human sponge. Nobody wants to deal with a soggy sleeping bag or a campfire extinguished by a surprise downpour. Remember, a little preparation goes a long way, unless you're preparing to spend the night with wet socks. It's better to look slightly ridiculous with your umbrella than to end up cold and miserable. 2. Overpacking. Next on our list is the classic mistake of overpacking. You might think you need everything but the kitchen sink, but trust me, a 3-person tent and a full wardrobe are not necessary. Studies indicate that average campers pack around 30% more than they actually need. The result? A back-breaking load that could rival a small elephant. Think of it like going to a buffet and loading your plate with food you'll never finish. Totally unnecessary and prone to regret. Stick to the essentials and prioritize multifunctional items. If you think you'll impress fellow campers with your array of unnecessary gadgets, think again. No one wants to watch you struggle with a high-tech water purifier while you could have just brought a simple water bottle and saved the drama for your TikTok account. And if your friends aren't willing to help you carry the gear, are they really your friends? 3. Forgetting to hydrate. Moving on to mistake number 3, forgetting to hydrate. Your body is not a cactus, you can't just go without water. The CDC recommends consuming about 2 liters of water per day while camping. If you skip hydration, not only will you feel like a zombie, but you'll also be more prone to accidents, like tripping over that adorable squirrel you thought was just being friendly. Keep a water bottle filled and accessible, because being the dehydrated camper who confuses a pine cone for a water bottle is not the vibe you want. And let's not even mention the headache that'll haunt you the next morning. When in doubt, drink more water. It's the only kind of liquid courage you need out there. 4. Not setting up camp before dark. Next, let's talk about timing. If you think you can set up camp in the dark, you're in for a world of hurt. You'll be fumbling with tent poles like a blindfolded octopus. According to the American Camping Association, 65% of campers struggle to set up camp after the sun goes down. If you think you can just whip out your flashlight and be a hero, think again. Your ambitious idea of camping may quickly dissolve into chaos. Set up your camp while it's still light. Otherwise, you'll be the one stuck trying to pitch a tent while your friends are laughing at your misfortune. Remember, it's all fun and games until someone ends up sleeping under the stars without a sleeping bag. 5. Skipping campfire safety rules. Let's talk about campfire safety. Sure, you're excited about roasting marshmallows, but forgetting to follow the rules can turn your cozy fire into a fiery fiasco. The U.S. Forest Service noted that in 2020, unattended campfires led to over 6 million acres of wildfires. So learn how to build, manage, and extinguish your fire safely. Keep water nearby and make sure your fire is out before you leave. Nobody wants to be the reason their campsite is transformed into a scene straight out of a disaster movie, complete with raging flames and woodland critters running for their lives. And if you think the only thing you're grilling is dinner, think again. Your future in camping hangs in the balance. 6. Not knowing how to use camping gear. Now let's address the infamous struggle with camping gear. You might think that shiny new tent and fancy stove will make you the outdoor king or queen, but if you can't figure out how to use them, you might as well have brought a disco ball. Before heading out, practice with your gear. YouTube is your best friend here. Think of it as your pre-camping homework. No one wants to sleep in their car because they couldn't figure out how to pitch their tent. And if you find yourself watching tutorials on how to boil water, maybe reconsider your camping ambitions. Remember, if you think a camping stove is just a fancy way to make toast, you're in for a rude awakening when you're staring at raw hot dogs for dinner. 7. Not bringing enough food is next on the list. Packing too little food is just as bad as packing too much. You might think you can live off granola bars, but when the cravings hit, you'll be eyeing that dirt like it's a 5-star meal. The USDA recommends having at least 2,000 calories per day while camping. If you're out there hiking and sweating, your body needs fuel. Pack enough food to keep your energy up, and don't forget snacks. If you're in a group, make sure everyone knows how much food to bring. You don't want to starve while your buddy's stuffing their face with the last of the trail mix. A well-fed camper is a happy camper, and happiness is the best condiment. Besides, who wants to be that person who has to borrow food? Bring enough snacks to trade, and you might just end up with a delicious hodgepodge of campfire cuisine. 8. Forgetting the first aid kit. Let's get serious for a moment. Forgetting the first aid kit is a rookie mistake you can't afford to make. Accidents happen, whether it's a scraped knee from a rogue route or a cut finger while trying to impress your friends with your knife skills. According to the American Red Cross, over 10 million injuries occur each year in the US while camping. Pack a comprehensive first aid kit that includes Band-Aids, antiseptic wipes, and any personal medications. Your future self will thank you when you're not improvising a bandage out of duct tape and a fern leaf. And let's face it, when you're out in nature, you'll be surprised at how quickly you'll need that first aid kit. Remember, it's not about being clumsy. It's about being prepared for whatever nature throws at you. 9. Not respecting wildlife. Mistake number 9, not respecting wildlife. Sure, that raccoon looks cute and harmless, but it's also a cunning thief who will break into your food stash faster than you can say, bear spray. The National Park Service warns that feeding wildlife can lead to aggressive behavior. So pack your food properly and keep it stored away from your sleeping area. You don't want to be the person who gets chased by a bear because you couldn't resist feeding it a granola bar. Trust me, your Instagram followers don't need that kind of content. Besides, a healthy respect for nature means appreciating wildlife from a distance, not trying to make them your next Instagram buddy. 10. Forgetting to leave. No trace, finally. Let's talk about the leave no trace principles. If you think you can leave your trash behind, think again. That's like throwing your popcorn everywhere at the movies and expecting the staff to clean it up. The Leave No Trace Center for Outdoor Ethics states that improper disposal of trash can harm wildlife and disrupt ecosystems. So remember to pack out what you pack in. Your future camping trips depend on it. Nobody wants to be known as the litterbug camper. You might as well wear a shirt that says, "I ruin nature for fun." Besides, keeping the campsite clean means future generations can enjoy it too. Honorable mention number 1, ignoring insect repellent. As a bonus mistake, let's discuss ignoring insect repellent. You might think you're tough enough to brave the great outdoors without protection from mosquitoes and ticks, but those little bloodsuckers see you as an all-you-can-eat buffet. According to the CDC, Lyme disease cases have been steadily increasing, with over 300,000 cases reported annually. Bring insect repellent and apply it regularly. You don't want to leave the woods looking like you've lost a battle with a swarm of angry bees. And if you do forget, just remember, a little itching is a small price to pay for a weekend in nature, until you find out it was more than just itching. Honorable mention number 2, not bringing a backup battery. Finally, let's talk about not bringing a backup battery. In the age of technology, you'd think everyone knows to pack extra batteries, but you think you can survive on your phone's battery for the entire trip. But trust me, that's a gamble you don't want to take. Many campers find out the hard way that they're stuck in the middle of the woods without a way to charge their devices. According to a survey by the Outdoor Foundation, over 80% of campers rely on their phones for navigation and emergency contact. So if you plan to rely on your smartphone for your camping escapades, make sure to pack an extra battery or a solar charger. Otherwise, you might end up sitting in the dark, trying to figure out how to navigate back to your campsite using nothing but your questionable sense of direction and the stars. Remember, technology is your friend, but only if you keep it powered up. Conclusion: so, there you have it. 10 mistakes every new camper makes and how to avoid them. With these tips, you'll be well on your way to becoming a seasoned camper, impressing your friends with your outdoor savvy rather than becoming the punchline of their campfire stories. Remember, it's all about preparation and respect for nature. And if you do mess up, just laugh it off and make it part of your camping legend. Now go out there, enjoy the fresh air, and maybe leave the human sponge act for the beach. If you liked this video, Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more camping tips and outdoor adventures, or the Skinwalker will be watching you very closely. Until next time, happy camping and Godspeed.